South Sudan is part of the East African community, and our president has also been a chair. For all we know, they share both economic and security matters. South Sudan's issues remain soaring, and the East African community and the chair is quiet. What do you think is happening?
And besides that, the one addressing you, I sit as a president of East African Civil Society right now, and I'm supposed to be today in Nairobi for our own summit, which will be held, and I've decided not to go for the summit. I think one of the things that we need to be honest to ourselves as South Sudanese, we need to know that every member state have a vested interest. And once a vested interest is clashing among a bloc like East African community, there's a high chances that you may not get a rescue of your friends because your friends might have vested interest clashes. Though I know that the current sitting chair of East African Community, His Excellency William Ruto, have made a statement, have called our leaders. I will assure you, our leaders were called by the president of Kenya, were called by the president of Uganda, were called by the president of Somalia, and you have seen even for the first time to see Somalia issuing a statement for a violent situation, while we and Somalia, we are both violent situations. Now, come to see head of state of a violent situation like South Sudan begging our leaders to provide chance for peace, to provide chance for dialogue. Why? Because the best interest that Somalians are the best investors in the constructive industry. That's why the president is concerned about their nationals who are here. You might have seen some European countries like Germany have shut down the embassies, and likely some embassies may follow the same footpath of Germany, like US have seized its citizens. So once the best interest of countries clash, and remember, we are one of the richest countries as natural resources is concerned. So you may witness silences, and you may witness incoming of forces that want to aid the violence to continue. And I have to be honest with you, we are not far from Sudan. The way how some member states of the Middle East have meddled with Sudan, we are likely to witness the same meddling of the Middle East member states in South Sudan. And that means you can connect South Sudan and Sudan being meddled by members of the Middle East. So sometimes we may become a playground for crisis, economical crisis of Middle East member states because we open our doors. And who to be blamed? For me, let us not blame anybody. We blame the South Sudanese leaders who sit at the presidency. If this country failed to exist and function as a successful state, we blame nobody. We blame the members of the presidency. And I think still they have the opportunity to turn every equation from negative to positive if they have the will to do that. Because the question I have always is that besides that, we need external support, as you have mentioned, the East African Community or IGAD or AU, as I've mentioned the statement, IGAD have come with the statement. The question we have is, for how long our leaders need to see lives of South Sudanese failing, or South Sudanese have lost how many lives that now will tell our leaders to say enough is enough to violence? Or do they govern us as the leaders through violence, where they can see their own citizens crying, calling for them to have a dialogue they don't want to listen to? Maybe the death of people of South Sudan is a political agenda for some political leaders to gain some political relevance in the government.
So as civil society,